For centuries, ancient ruins scattered across dead planets have whispered fragments of a chilling message, one that modern archaeologists and xenolinguists are only now beginning to understand. Carved in stone, etched into metal, and encoded in long-lost languages, the same warning appears over and over again across different star systems. Beware the humans. But how could alien civilizations, separated by time and distance, all speak of a species they had never encountered? The deeper researchers dig, the more disturbing the picture becomes. Entire civilizations vanished overnight. Star systems show signs of self-destruction or deliberate evacuation, and in the ruins there are symbols, matching those now found in Earth's most secret archaeological sites. Could it be that humanity wasn't just a random accident in the universe, but the very threat the galaxy feared long before we ever looked up at the stars? The signal that changed everything. It began with a weak, nearly indecipherable signal picked up by an old radio telescope in the Atacama Desert. The year was 1998. The signal, buried in cosmic noise, repeated only 3 times before vanishing forever. But its mathematical precision hinted it wasn't natural. At first, it was dismissed as another anomaly. But 2 years later, a research facility in the Arctic picked up a strikingly similar sequence. This time, buried inside the code was a map, not of Earth, but of a planetary system 12,000 light-years away, near the Sagittarius Arm. A location that, by all known astronomical data, was home to a lifeless gas giant and several barren moons. Yet something about it was deliberate. Not just a map, but coordinates to something left behind. The ruins on Theta 3. When a joint European-Asian deep space probe reached the system known as Theta 3, it detected impossible architecture on one of the moons. Giant, stone-like structures in perfect geometric alignment. No known natural process could account for the design. Using drones, the probe captured detailed imagery of massive spires and subterranean halls. Etched across their surfaces were inscriptions in a language that matched no known alien database, except for fragments found on an artifact recovered from a crash site in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947. That was when interest spiked at the highest levels of global intelligence. The language was a match. It was real. And it was old. The translation took years, but one word kept appearing in patterns, always paired with warnings or danger glyphs. Terran, Earth origin, human. Evidence of earlier visitations. This wasn't the first time Earth had been linked to extraterrestrial warnings. The Sumerians spoke of Anunnaki descending from the sky with knowledge and fire. The Dogon tribe of Mali knew of Sirius B, an invisible star, long before telescopes existed. The Nazca lines of Peru, viewable only from the sky, align with celestial events in ways that baffled archaeologists. Were these just coincidences or misinterpretations of natural curiosity? Or were early human civilizations guided, observed, or perhaps even warned by visitors who knew what might lie ahead? What made the Theta 3 discovery different was that it wasn't human myth, it was alien. And it pointed to Earth not as a curiosity, but as a threat. The vanished races. In the galactic archives of several advanced species, the Centauri, the Malverin, and the old Kalari Union, there were vague references to a scrubbed. Strangely, every known record of humans before 3000 BCE from alien databases ends with the same final line, "Let Earth sleep." Why humans? Among galactic species, intelligence is common, compassion even more so. Most advanced civilizations become peaceful over time as technology removes the need for war and conflict. But humans are different. In the span of a few thousand years, we've gone from hunter-gatherers to technological apex predators, from stone spears to quantum computing, from tribal warfare to global nuclear threat. We are biologically wired for competition, innovation, and survival against all odds. Unlike most species, we do not evolve in balance with our environment. We consume, reshape, and often destroy it to suit our needs. And most disturbingly, we do not stop. The genetic code. A study published in 2042 by a joint Earth-Mars genetics team found something strange. There were portions of human DNA that appeared artificially modified. Not mutations, but sequences that looked like code injected at some point in prehistory. Even more strange, fragments of that code matched samples taken from alien artifacts found on Theta 3 and a crashed drone recovered from the Andromeda Gate station. This implied not only prior contact, but engineering. Had humans been created or modified, and if so, why? One scientist theorized, we were made for something, maybe as weapons, maybe as a test, but someone started something they couldn't finish. The prophecy tablet. In 2077, a deep space mission exploring the Kuiper Belt found a small black obelisk drifting among the ice. It was not of earthly origin. The object contained a crystalline core with a perfectly preserved alien text inside. When translated using linguistic patterns from Theta 3 and Roswell, the tablet revealed the following passage. When the sky is pierced and the void sings with Terran breath, the age of silence ends. From the blue cradle, the unmakers rise. They will not come in fleets. They will not conquer with machines. They will become the storm. It was the clearest version of the prophecy ever found, and we were already building the ships to pierce the sky. The council debate. According to leaked documents from the Centauri diplomatic logs, a long-standing debate has raged in the Galactic Council for over a century. What to do about Earth? Some argued for quarantine, others for observation. A few extremists called for preemptive sterilization of the system. One delegate reported a balanced view. It would be unfair to label humanity as purely dangerous. The same instincts that drive conflict also produce incredible art, compassion, sacrifice, and discovery. Humans risk their lives to save strangers. They mourn the extinction of species they have never seen. They dream of peace even while building weapons. Perhaps that's what makes us terrifying to others. Not because we are evil, but because we are unpredictable, capable of the worst and the very best. In a universe that evolved in careful equilibrium, humanity is chaos incarnate, a wild card, a storm, with a heart, now that we know. So where does that leave us? The prophecy was never about destruction. It was about choice. A warning, yes, but not a sentence. If ancient aliens feared us, maybe it was because they feared what happens when power meets unpredictability. But if they also observed our growth, our compassion, and our dreams, then maybe the prophecy wasn't just a warning. Maybe it was a question, a balanced view. It would be unfair to label humanity as purely dangerous. The same instincts that drive conflict also produce incredible art, compassion, sacrifice, and discovery. Humans risk their lives to save strangers. They mourn the extinction of species they have never seen. They dream of peace even while building weapons. Perhaps that's what makes us terrifying to others, not because we are evil, but because we are unpredictable, capable of the worst and the very best. In a universe that evolved in careful equilibrium, humanity is chaos incarnate, a wild card, a storm, with a heart, now that we know. So where does that leave us? The prophecy was never about destruction. It was about choice. A warning, yes, but not a sentence. If ancient aliens feared us, maybe it was because they feared what happens when power meets unpredictability. But if they also observed our growth, our compassion, and our dreams, then maybe the prophecy wasn't just a warning. Maybe it was a question.